All right. Well, welcome back, Full Count Podcast. Chris, everything has taken place since I've been gone. I feel like tariff war situation.
A 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States. If they're made in the United States, there's absolutely no tariff.
The economy's getting a little bit hurt. Stock market today fell, but it was good for mortgage rates. So we'll talk about that. And then opening day, I'm not sure if you had a chance to see that. As a Yankee fan, I got to see Juan Soto, strike out at the very bottom of the inning. And a lot of Mets fans were really pissed off, and Yankee fans were very happy about that, considering, he left the Yankees. And then he had the audacity to kind of talk bad a little bit. Not talk bad, let me backtrack. He had the audacity to kind of have bad attitude in a way in his interview. So that was very interesting.
Absolutely. 2025 has got off to a very busy start. If you blink, you miss it. I have empathy for reporters out there trying to cover the topics of the day because they just keep on coming, for better or for worse.
3 balls, 2 strikes, pressure is on. This is where we discuss real estate, property improvement, and business. Together, we'll strategize on how to win. Welcome to the Full Count.
So, Andrew, there might be some folks listening to this who are wondering, is it the time to get into the market? Is it time to sell their property? Should we play the waiting game? I know for me, we've been, shopping rates and, got one down to 5.75%, but, it's all related to VA loans. So it's a little different for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But, what would you have to say from a real estate expert like yourself to the average consumer? How are we looking right now?
We're looking all right. We've been under around 6.8, I would imagine, is what I've kind of been seeing from the lenders I speak to, because, I'm a real estate professional, not a lender. So I technically can't really go into the weeds of interest rates, the percentages. But overall, we've been seeing it under 6.8, 6.5 in many cases too, or even less, depending on a number of things. But last year we were around 7%, and it was really sticking there. But now with these rates under that, it's really caught a little bit more momentum with selling and things like that. But at the same time, we've been seeing a lot of inventory go up in LA and Orange County. We've been seeing inventory ranging from 35 to 47% more inventory, which is supply of homes for sale, than last year. So buyers have more options. I also think, you let me know what you think, Chris, but this is my opinion. President Trump, I believe, is trying to break the economy, make it weaker. That's why we've been seeing the stock market go down. We've been seeing jobs reports, even though a lot of it has to do with the last administration. But he wants it to appear weaker, whether it is or it isn't, in order to get interest rates lower, inflation lower.
President, should Americans buy cars now if they want to avoid higher prices? And then just to
No,
follow
I don't think so. I think you're going to have a country that's going to boom.
And all that perception in the market has caused sentiment where we're seeing interest rates go down, and that's a positive. I think a lot of mortgage people think we're going to go in the low 6% rate for this year, which means, to answer your question, I think you're going to have a time where you're going to see more refinances and people buying.
Yeah, it's an interesting theory. People have short-term memories. If, for example, the next 6 months, the economy is being broken down, as you say, and then all of a sudden, the rest of his presidency, it's booming. People won't remember this period
Right.
in the long term. And
Yeah.
as we all know, markets are a cycle of up and down, up and down. So it would make sense. That's a very interesting strategy. I think for a lot of folks out there, they realize that the first discounts are going to go to cash buyers. So for the average person, as soon as we get relief, it seems like you'll still have to wait a little bit longer to where the market settles down, and then you can jump in because this is difficult competing with cash buyers for ideal properties when you don't have cash. You're getting a loan. I know in
Right.
Southern California that's a big thing.
It is a big thing, but I don't think it's as prevalent as many might see it. I think it's been ranging nationwide. I don't have the stat top of my head, but it's somewhere from like 24 to 30%. I think it's more on the lower end, but you have a point there. But we always got to remember, when we see interest rates go down, we see home prices go up.
Right,
It gets
right.
more competitive. So you kind of have to meet right in the middle and try and time it if that's what you're trying to do. But that's why I tell people, just buy according to your lifestyle. And then if you're looking to refinance, I think later in the year might be the best time to do it. I think a lot of mortgage people have the confidence it will happen this year. We'll see a lot of refinances, and more so probably next year with
Right.
Trump in office.
And I think mainly what I was talking about was basically a little PTSD from after 2008, the financial crisis. It seemed like whenever the market tanked all the way, and a lot of people would think, well, wait a minute, this would be a good time to buy. That's where I don't expect us to have a market decrease like that, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But that's really where I was going with that. Is I remember, when the market's down, the sharks come out to play. So that's why I said it seems like for the average person, you got to wait a little bit after the market basically goes down, tanks or whatever, because that's when the folks.
But I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree because I don't think the market's really going to go down.
Well, that was my point. I said that. I don't think it's going to go like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah. So I was just emphasizing that I have PTSD from that experience.
I see. I think a lot of millennials do too, especially the older millennials, and they've kind of been through so much, right? 9/11, the financial crisis, the Iraq war, now the Putin invasion situation, Israel, Palestine, all that has caused so much going on that millennials are more hesitant. And we've been seeing more Gen Z, the ones that are, have the means to do it. They seem to be a little bit more ambitious to get what they want when it comes to like buying property, and millennials have been kind of on
all
the
they've
sidelines.
known is chaos. Their whole lives has been in war.
They don't know any different in a way. Yeah.
Yep.
So
it's sad.
That is true. That's my take on that. Overall, that's my best advice to you, or anyone listening and watching. What's up with I want to get into really quick baseball though. Did you see opening day was yesterday? It was
no, actually, I've been busy with
Yankees.
I've been busy trying to launch a product, but please enlighten me. What do we got?
The Yankees are on a winning streak. Dodgers are also doing really well. Shohei did a home run. Tommy Edman did a home run. There's someone else that did a home run that I can't think of at the moment, but it was great. Long story short, great time. As a Yankee fan, I was very happy to see Juan Soto strike out, 9th inning. If he would have hit the ball and just put it in play, they would have probably won the Mets, but they lost. And a lot of Mets fans, I think, are taking a little bit more on the pessimistic side. I think they shouldn't be so upset about it, but they are. And a lot of Yankee fans are extremely excited. And then there was an interview press conference with Juan Soto, and he was kind of very low energy. And I think people really took that the wrong way, as they should.
It's just one loss at the beginning of the season. Sometimes those don't mean much. But is there anything you guys can take from this one?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the last couple of innings, you can see we were one base hit away to probably tie the game or get close in the scoreboard. So that's the teams that we got to take and move forward.
And it's just not a good look. So it's opening day. It's just started. So I don't think it's a huge deal, but it was kind of fun to see at the start of the season. And then Angels, they had a regular utility player, pitched the 9th inning or the 8th inning, I think it was. And the guy was throwing under 70 miles per hour. Some guy named Lopez, not really his fault, but he's not a pitcher, but they had to bring him in to to play against the White Sox. So it just shows you how low on the totem pole the Angels really are. So
yeah, that's insane. I wonder what I guess sometimes, balls are thrown slow as a strategy thing, but I wonder what the slowest pitch ever is.
I mean, I saw them around 63 miles per hour, what he was throwing. And he wasn't, how when you see a pitcher, when they throw the ball, their back goes forward with the momentum. He didn't do that. It was like he was just playing catch. But
so explain to me, so it sounds like what you're saying is he put no effort into those throws. So why?
The pitcher that they had in there, it was a first time throwing a major league game, I believe. I don't even think he was in the minor leagues. Very young
Yeah.
guy. I feel bad for him, but he's so young. He did such a bad job that they took him out. They tried keeping him in there.
Yeah.
I saw a couple innings before, but he just kept getting rocked, dude. So they brought in this other guy who's not even a pitcher because they have no pitchers, is my point. And the guy, not that he wasn't trying to throw or put effort, he was just trying to get the ball in play to throw a strike, and that's kind of what happened.
You would think that there are so many people like in AAA and the minor leagues that could all throw well, like that they wouldn't have a depth issue like that, right? Like you would think that there's rosters stacked with people who could throw at least 80.
Yeah, but can they throw strikes? Can they not hit the player? That's the big concern right there.
Yeah,
I think that's what it comes down
we
to.
can get our boy Kurt in there. He can handle it.
Kurt would do a good job. But I think if you throw like an 80-mile-per-hour, even mid 80s, and it's right down the line, I think they have a higher probability that baseball players are obviously going to hit the ball. If you see like a 60-some-mile-per-hour ball, I think it's harder to hit in many ways because it's so slow. So I found that to be a good start for opening day for Yankees and Dodgers. I didn't get to see the Padres, but it was different than what I expected for the Angels anyways. I didn't think they were going to be that bad. And I didn't think Juan Soto was going to perform that way. Even though he didn't have such a bad start, but the way it ended, the game was just terrible.
Speaking of baseball, are Sway and Nick going to be joining us in Atlanta to watch the baseball game?
I can already count out Nick. I think the audience knows Nick isn't going to show up, but it's fine. I mean, he's a good guy, but he's not going to come. Sway, I think, has a probability he'll probably go, maybe 60%, 70%.
Put some pressure on him. I know you can talk him into.
We got to put some more pressure on that guy.
And maybe we make it a wives trip too, so that they'll all hang out while we're doing our thing.
So
what do you think about that?
I would love that idea. I think doing a podcast before the game or after the game would be ideal, all three of us.
Do you think that we should make it a wives trip, or should it be just the boys? Either way, my wife's going to be here, so it can't truly be just the boys no matter what we do.
I think it should be a wives trip too. I think it'd be great. Watch the game.
Sway, bring them. You can bring the kids too. We got room.